welcome back. I have the pleasure of being joined by Sally from the Summit Historical Society this morning, and she has a special guest, Felicity, which we will introduce later in the show. But Sally, the Summit Historical Society really embraces and helps fund the Summit County history. And with that, you guys offer a lot of ways for people to learn and get educated and have really fun experiences. And I know you guys have a lot coming up in July. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, we love summertime because, of course, the weather's gorgeous and you want to be up here, and a lot of families are coming. So we have everything from our boat tours, that is a partnership with the town of Dillon. You can check that out on Dillon's website, which is really about how Dillon, Denver and the dam, the whole water, and there's a great book by Sandy Mather on how that changed the whole dynamics of the county in the early 1960s. But then some of our programs for this summer are geared toward children, including on July 20th, American Girl Dolls Go to School. So in the 1883 schoolhouse, we invite young ladies, their moms, or really any age to come see what it was like in 1883 and to use Felicity here. Now, she's 1774, wasn't here in Summit County, so we're going to help people see the timeline a little bit. And then on the 27th, we have a special tour called Beyond Gold, which is up to Montezuma, St. John's, look at the silver mine, and that's geared toward the family as well. You know, Summit County's big. We have lots of stories to tell.
Well, I think it's such a unique experience for families and for kids to kind of sit back and, you know, maybe go mountain biking or hiking, but also take in the rich history and to get a really unique experience to actually learn this. So they're getting hands-on, they're getting visual education as well. So that's really cool. And you spoke a little bit about the American Doll event you have coming up, and Felicity, her history right here, she's older than we can ever expect, but I want to hear more about her.
So I had the privilege of working with Pleasant Company. Pleasant was an educator, and she wanted to teach girls history in a different way. This is in the late 80s, and I was working at Colonial Williamsburg, and she wanted to work with museums, back to that historical society connection. And so we were asked to do authentic clothing, but for girls, modern girls, to learn history, to hear stories, to teach history differently. And as an educator, her way was a doll and a book to talk about that period. Felicity 1774. And so all next week, check our website or on Facebook. Felicity's going to be sitting around 100 years later around Summit County in the late 1880s when we first see families coming in to Summit County. And this will be our way to go, here's Felicity 1774, because she is one of the first dolls off the conveyor belt. Mm-hmm. And yet teach them what changed. I mean, she looks different, right? How does she look different?
She's beautiful, and I think it's so cool that you actually had a hand in creating her garments. You know, I had Barbies and My Little Pony. I never had an American Girl doll, but I've heard so much about them and their impact on young women, and I think that's such an inspiration to young women.
Yeah, and that's a good comparison. What role did dolls and toys play in early Summit County, and how did that differ? For instance, fashion dolls in the 18th century were used to teach people on a small scale what were the latest fashions. So they weren't dolls to play with, they were dolls for advertising, if you will. That changed over 100 years, and I have a Victorian doll from the collection that I'll bring out next Wednesday night, 6:30 at the 1883 schoolhouse to kind of compare. So Felicity's modern, but she's there to teach what was going on through history. And we, again, invite girls on July 20th, or meet me at the farmer's market tomorrow. I'll be there at our booth with Felicity, bring your American Girl doll. We'll look at the differences and we'll talk about it. So
That is very, very cool. And that's the Dillon Farmers Market.
the Dillon
tomorrow.
Farmers Market tomorrow. We'll be there from 9 to 2 and talking about American Girls. Come share your story. Come tell us how American Girl entered your life in Summit County.
Yeah, I love that. And speaking of the Dillon's Farmers Market, I mean, you guys just, again, have events and dolls and history, all this stuff, but you also are going to have these really cool digging kits that kids can purchase. Literally just dig through these. I'm going to see if I can find a gem. Well, I made it too easy on myself. But kids can purchase these, or families can purchase these, dig through there and find these really cool gems. I mean, I remember coming up here as a kid and running and walking through the rock you know, fields that are all over Summit County and trying to crack rocks open to find something just like this.
What we want to tell kids about is on August the 10th. So now we're all the way into August. We have great programs all the way to Labor Day. And August 10th, we are the invited guest to the Bureau of Land Management to go fossil hunting. And that, again, is designed for kids. So stop by the farmers market, find out what programs we've got going on this summer, and see what works for you.
You got it. Well, I am very excited to see what you guys always have in store and really educating and kind of throwing it back to the rich history that's here in Summit County. Well, Sally, it's always a pleasure having you stop by and tell us what's going on. I hope to see you next week and definitely hear about this gem digging festivity.
All right, I'll see if I can't bring some other original gems.
Ooh, I like that.
These are hands-on. I'll bring you some of those from our collection.
I can't
That'd be great.
wait. Well, we are going to switch gears and now give somebody a gift card to Craniology and Modus. That is $25 to each location